Hey everybody, Dylan with West River Whiskey here. It's been about a week and a half since our last video, and I apologize for the delay in the video here, but had some family issues come up and had to take care of it. But we're back. So tonight it's going to be like probably the last time in a while that we touch base on some Irish whiskeys. And I know I said a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, that a lot of Irish whiskeys I'd avoided simply because I was really into the bourbons, scotches, and some of the other American whiskeys for so long that I just kind of put these on the back burner. I'd always wanted to try them, but I'd never gotten around to it. So tonight I wanted to kind of have almost a little mini tour of three pretty prominent Irish distilleries. So what I've got here is I've got it lined up over here, starting with this Jameson's. It's their stout edition. And I'm going from the least expensive to the most expensive. And I just kind of wanted to get a couple tasting notes for each of them. Maybe talk a little bit about how they compare to one another, and see if a couple of these live up to the hype. Now, one thing you're going to see front and center here is my personal favorite, as you can tell. I've been enjoying my Green Spot, and I've been told by a number of people now that if you like Green Spot, you got to try this, right? And it's been a couple of them, specifically the Writer's Tears and the Redbreast 12. So I've got 7 whiskeys here, and they come from multiple distilleries. So Irish Distillers is probably the most represented here. That's probably the most common. The most common distiller in Ireland, or largest distiller in Ireland. That is going to be your Midleton Distillery, right? So your Jameson, your Powers, your Green Spot is made in Midleton. Your Redbreast 12 is made in Midleton. And then Walsh Bottling and Distiller, and I'm not 100% sure if this is in partnership with the Midleton Distillery, but Writer's Tears is a Walsh product, and then Cooley Kilbeggan makes Tyrconnell. So we've got a pretty good representation here. Now, one thing that you're not going to see up here is the Bushmills and some of the Northern Irish or Northern Irish Ireland, from North Ireland whiskeys that are unfortunately not represented here. So all things being equal, I just don't have them, and it has nothing to do with a preference of Northern Ireland versus what we all, or what the majority of us recognize as Ireland. So there's not meant to be any foul feelings towards any of the distilleries from Northern Ireland. It's just the majority of Irish whiskey coming into the States, coming out of Ireland, from the island of Ireland, I guess we should say, is from around the Midleton area. So this will be the first time I've actually tried quite a few of these. So I've had the Caskmates, the Jameson Stout Caskmates, for, I want to say, for 3 or 4 months. This is I just opened it up tonight. First time I've done that. I briefly touched on Jameson, the Black Barrel, in a previous video, just talking about how it was kind of my introduction to Irish whiskey. I find it an absolutely fantastic drink. I've really enjoyed it, especially if you're making. I know it's kind of sacrilegious to a lot of whiskey fans who who think that the only way to drink whiskey is neat, with no help from anything else. But I absolutely love this with a little bit of Angostora's lemon, lime, and bitters. It's just a fantastic drink. I have not tried the Powers, the Writer's Tears, the Tyrconnell, or the Redbreast 12. I picked up Redbreast 12 a few weeks back. I have not tried it yet, so I'm really excited to get down and try some of that. So kind of utilizing my green spot, or using the green spot as a control for me, just to see what everything, how it noses, how it tastes, mouth feels, stuff like that, just to see if these are going to hold up. Now, a couple of things to note here is while a lot of Irish whiskeys are single pot still, that is not the case for all of them. A lot of Irish whiskeys are a blend of whiskeys, but not all of them. You know, most specifically up here is this, the Tyrconnell here is a single malt Irish whiskey. So now, you know, what that's going to do to it, I couldn't tell you. But you know, there are a number of things that are going to be different between all of these whiskeys up here, and you know, I'm just, you know, kind of excited to see what they are. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the Jameson Caskmates. This is the stout edition. For those of you that are more of IPA fans, you know, they have an IPA edition as well. That's not something that's ever piqued my interest whatsoever. As someone who doesn't enjoy the bitterness in beers, IPAs are not for me. So I'd really rather not ruin good whiskey with IPA barrel aging. So this whiskey is finished in stout barrels. I didn't dig enough into this, to be completely honest, with where they got their stout barrels from. But Ireland, maybe it's Guinness, I don't know. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Someone will correct me in the notes. But this, you know, it's. I've heard absolutely nothing negative about this. You know, I'm actually pretty eager to try this for the first time. So, just taking it on the nose, it's definitely does not have a boozy, an overpowering smell. Now, obviously, that's going to be because this is a 40%, 80 proof Irish whiskey. It's not in the 45 to 50% or 52% range. It is a very nice floral bouquet on it. And I'm not really smelling the stout or the beer smell on it. I know that's been one of my biggest complaints when I talk about different bourbons. When you have bourbons that have been aged in beer barrels, I think that all too often here, or bourbon that's been finished in beer barrels, or whiskey that's finished in beer barrels, I should say, it's often the case in my experience that it takes on a little too much of the smell of the beer barrel. But this is very pleasant, very light on the nose, very light on the nose. Now there it is. Yep, absolutely. You can absolutely tell that has been aged in a beer barrel, stout barrel for all you purists out there. It really kind of hits you up front, almost just a punch to your senses, right to the face. And the finish, it calms down, it tones down. You get more of the what I would call it. I wouldn't quite say a typical Irish taste, because I'm in my experience, which is not tremendous with Irish, but in my experience, there's really no distinct Irish taste, but it has a lot of those sweet notes on the end, the honey, the little bit of baking spice. Really pleasant. When you first put it in the mouth, it's really, really quiet. It's really quiet, and it doesn't really get you until you take that first swallow and you just get that punch right to the face. But the finish is just excellent on that. I really enjoy that. So, yeah, this is something I'm probably gonna have to sit down and actually put some notes to, or pencil to paper on, and and take some time with it. But very pleasant. I've had this for months. I wish I would have tried it sooner. It was really good. I really enjoyed that. Moving up to the next level. Now with the stout, depending on where you go, I got this, like I said, a few months ago, January or February, from Mr. Liquor here in town. This is when it was on sale. I think I paid $26 for this. This normally retails for right around $32, $33 a bottle. That's pretty consistent across whether it's Mr. Liquor, Boyd's, Timmins, Smith's. When I saw it at Canyon Lake, I think it was the same thing. So it's a pretty decent price on that. Now, depending on where you go, the next two may be out of order, right? So the Jameson, again, I got this one the same time I got this. I got the Black Barrel the same time I got the stout, and it was on sale as well. So I actually only paid I think it was $32 for this. This typically retails for between $35 and $40. I've seen it as high in town. I've seen it as high as $44. So the price on this really varies depending on where and when you got it. Now, the interesting thing about all of these, or I shouldn't say it's one of the interesting things about all of these is these being Irish whiskeys from the Republic of Ireland, which is right, the southern part of the island of Ireland. These were not; these did not have any additional tariffs on them. So, if you see the prices on a lot of these go up, a lot of that is not due to, or none of that's going to be due to any tariffs on Irish whiskey, because Irish whiskeys from the Republic of Ireland had no additional tariffs put on them. So the Black Barrel, this is one, like I said, that I've had many, many times. This is you just picking it up and nosing it. It's a Jameson. I mean, you can definitely tell it's a Jameson. It is just quintessential Jameson. It has that strong, where the stout edition did not have that strong, boozy, overpowering smell to it. This one, you can definitely feel it. While it's still, and here it says it's 80 proof, while it's still only 80 proof, 40% ABV, it definitely smells like it's a little bit higher than that, probably in the 45% area, but it's not. This one is where the stout, you can tell that it's been aged in a different style of barrel. The Jameson, this is just a much smoother, much richer Jameson, where the original Jameson that you're going to get, still 40 proof or 40%, 80 proof. It isn't aged as long, I would assume, and that's why it's got a different taste to it. But this Black Barrel, this is just really good. Lot of spice on the nose. Smells almost cloves. The one thing one of the things I will say that I like about that I've really enjoyed about Irish whiskeys and bourbons, for that matter, because bourbons are still my favorite. Overall, I just really enjoy the differences in the nuances in American whiskey. But the one thing that I will say about these Irish whiskeys that are here is only a couple, I don't know, a couple 100 miles away or 100 miles away or 50 miles away, you've got Scottish distilleries, on Islay and Campbelltown, places like that are going to be a little bit more peaty, a little bit smoky, depending on what you're drinking from Islay. It's going to be heavily peated and heavily smoky. But these are just so different, and how just being across the just being across a small sea from England, and how different, or not, I shouldn't say England, I apologize to my Scottish friends out there, being across the sea from Scotland, how different it is, where you don't get that peatiness, you don't get that smokiness. Now, that's not to say that Irish whiskeys can't be peaty and smoky, because there definitely are some out there that definitely use peat to their advantage, in order to either dry the malt or what have you. It's not a typical flavor, or a typical ingredient that you're going to find from Irish whiskeys. So yeah, that Black Barrel, you can tell that they're the same product, but where it's a very smooth finish, very, very, I don't want to say bland, because it's not a bland finish on the stout edition. It's a different type. It's a completely different type of finish on the stout, but it doesn't have that boozy feel, that alcohol feel, going down, where the Jameson, while it's definitely a smoother Jameson, the Black Barrel is, you can definitely tell that it wants you to know that it's alcohol. It really does. And it's really enjoyable. I really like that. So yeah, I would still say that of the two Jamesons here, that is definitely, I definitely still like the Black Barrel best. Yeah, it's really good. So next up, I've got the Powers Gold Label. Cleanse my palate a little bit here. The Powers Gold Label. Now, if you do any reading of whiskey reviews or anything, where people dig in and talk about the nuances of whiskeys, they're going to tell you that Powers, it's a very deceptive whiskey. In my opinion, the bottle that it comes in, the fact that it's corked and not a screw top, which a couple of these are tonight, but it's corked. It looks like a really good bottle. It's got that nice little metal brass tag on the front of it. It's meant to look like a pricey whiskey. Now, the neat thing about it is, this I picked up at Mr. Liquor as well. This one was only $30, and that was not a sale price or anything like that. That was the everyday price on it. So it's a $30 liquor that is, according to many writers, many bloggers, many whiskey reviewers that I read before I did this video, before I started this video, is they say that it punches way above its weight. So now this is, Powers is again distilled out of Middleton, and it's part of the Jameson family, which is pretty interesting. and just a completely different. That is interesting. So it's aged in American oak casks. I would assume second run. The Irish and Scottish distilleries typically do not um, use new casks. They tend to use second run bourbon casks, wine casks, whether it's a sherry cask or something different. Like with Green Spot, it's I believe it's Malanga barrels, but you tend to be able to tell the smell of something that comes off of a pot still. Now, this does not state that it is a pot still at all. So it's like a cinnamon. It's got a really cinnamony smell to it. It's almost all that I'm smelling on that. Now, granted, I don't have the greatest nose in the world, but cinnamon, maybe some cloves. Interesting. It's almost that is an incredible taste going down. Very sweet. I would say almost like baked apples, not apple pie, but like cinnamon baked apples. Very different. A lot more alcohol feel to it. And this is, I believe this is 43.2%, 86.4 proof. So it's definitely a little bit more alcohol in there. Not a tremendous amount more, but it's noticeable. Wow, that was apples, cloves, cinnamon. Oh, so enjoyable. Absolutely enjoyable. Oh, that is a wonderful finish. Oh, absolutely wonderful finish. Yeah, you get the right on the front of the tongue. You get just this really nice, really rich, fruity sensation. An apple, maybe a slight hint of cherry as well. And then right in the middle, you get that apple, that cinnamon, and on the back, you get cloves, baking spices, like really good baking spices. Oh, wow. That is definitely giving my Green Spot a run for its money in my opinion. Where the Green Spot, and remember I said I was going to use this as a control, so I'm not skipping ahead right now. The Green Spot has that. I've been saying this for a few weeks now. Almost that Granny Smith apple smell, that crisp apple taste. Butter. A lot of the flavor you get is butter on that. Powers is apple, but in a different way. Really enjoyable. I really like that. I think it's where it's not. It has a sweet smell, but not an overly sweet taste. Where Green Spot has the sweet smell, it also has a very sweet taste, but in a very good way. Not like a sickly candy sweet, but but a very pleasant, sweet and sour type apple, a Granny Smith apple type sweet. Powers was excellent. So next up, we've got the Writer's Tears. Now this is, I picked this up from BJ's in Black Hawk. It typically retails, I think MSRP on it is $34.99. Typically around here, you're going to find it between $40 and $48. I picked this up for $42 at BJ's here in Black Hawk, like I said. Our friends down at Boyd's, when I picked up the Redbreast a couple weeks ago, they highly recommended, said, if you really like Green Spot, you really got to try Writer's Tears. And I've heard that from a couple people, but it's the first time one of our local liquor stores has been very adamant about that. I mean, I don't know if he was trying to sell me more or if he was just saying how much he enjoyed it. But when you look at the Writer's Tears for $42, the Green Spot for about, like I said, between $60 and $70. I think I most recently I saw this in a couple places for just about $68.99, $70. The Writer's Tears at $40 is really different. You're going to save between $20 and $30 on it, according to several people that I trust that work at some of my favorite places to get liquor from. So I decided to pick that up. I picked this up tonight, as a matter of fact, specifically for this, because I've been told, to try it. So, oh yes, Granny Smith apples all the way. I'm gonna. Yeah, very similar in nose. Yes. Very, I would say even more of a sour apple smell to it. And this is a coffee pot still. I believe I could be wrong. Goodness. Nope. This is a Irish copper pot as well. So I apologize for that. Wow. A lot of that green apple smell. Very sweet. Very sweet. So while the nose is very similar to Green Spot, I noticed some similarities in the taste, but I think the biggest similarity is you can definitely tell that it's a pot still. You can definitely taste the copper influence in it. Some of the baking notes again, light cinnamon, light clove, a little bit of a honey flavor. It's, I think we're going to have to come back to the Writer's Tears, and that's because I want to, well, maybe not. Let's see I think that the Green Spot, it is rich. It is full from the time you nose it to the time you finish the drink, it is full bodied all the way through. You get the unique, that really beautiful, rich apple smell up front, cinnamon, honey. On the tongue, you get that the cloves, the honey, that definite coppery interaction that you get with great Irish whiskeys or great pot still whiskeys, and it's bold all the way through. You're not at the end, the writer's tears, it kind of petered out, where you kind of get those flavors up front, and they're very similar in note. You get almost that buttered bread feel up front, but you don't get that strong finish. You don't get that. It's like when it's gone, it's gone. There's nothing that lingers. It's wow. Yeah, there's really nothing on the finish there. Well, I wouldn't say that's I guess maybe I was just expecting everything to live up to the hype, where people are, when you're told by a lot of people that, if you like Green Spot, this is a much less expensive version of Green Spot, and that I can see what they're saying. But yeah, the finish just doesn't finish as strong as Green Spot does. The writer's tears, you're looking at 40%. I don't remember what Green Spot is. It's only 40% as well. Very good. I know that Jim Murray is a fan of writer's tears. And I can't remember the other author. There was another author that I was reading who put this on his 101 whiskeys to try before you die. And, I'd like to say that I've definitely tried my fair share of whiskeys. I would say that this, if I were to put that if I were to give it a grading percent, like if we were to say A, B, C, D, right? I might give that a B plus. I might give that an 87, an 88, or almost an 8.5 out of 10, I guess. Solid B plus. I think it's the finish that's lacking. It reminds me a lot of my in high school when you had to do your final project for English class at the end of the year. You get up, you give your big speech, and at the end you forget your line and you say, and that's it. That's kind of what this reminds me of on the finish, where it builds up, it builds up, it builds up. You get great smells, you get great front notes, you get good middle notes. And notice how it's going great to good to okay. I mean, that's the thing. Yeah, I kind of wish that there was more to it. Yeah, I would have to say that. I wish that there was more to it. It's similar in nose and initial taste to Green Spot, and that's probably where I'd have to leave that. This would not replace Green Spot on my cart, my liquor cart. It wouldn't. When I run out of Green Spot, I'll probably switch to that. But I might finish it before I finish the Green Spot. So, but no, it's good, but it's not great. B plus, where this I would give extra credit for. I mean, this is Green Spot is not only did they not only get 100% on their test, they got some extra credit on there too. They put in the extra work. So I really enjoy the Green Spot more than I enjoy the Writer's Tears. I might have to come back. I might have to come back and try that. Give it a week or so. To now that the air's in there, maybe get some different flavors in it. But yeah, Green Spot still. If there was a head-to-head competition, much like with the Yellow Spot, we tried Yellow Spot after we tried the Green Spot, And while the yellow spot was absolutely fantastic, it got different notes. It got different, it got different flavors. It had some of the same ones. They put it in an extra cask that green spot isn't aged in. It wasn't in my opinion, it didn't live up to green spot. That's probably one of the reasons that I haven't looked for the red spot, because while the 12-year yellow spot was good, it lacked what do we say this was? Anywhere from 6 to 7 years, 6 to 8 years is what's in there, what's mixed in there. The red spot's 15 years. So yeah, I don't know. The green spot I'd still put that up there with anything. Next is Tyrconnell. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly, because when it comes to scotches and Irish drinks, I'm not always the best at pronouncing it. Tyrconnell is a Cooley Kilbeggan product. It is single malt Irish whiskey. I don't have a lot of notes on this one. Now that has a very rich butter, apples. I know it's going to sound weird, but it smells thicker. This is 43%. So it's right up there with the Powers. The Tyrconnell are so far the only ones above 40%, including the green spot, which is 40%. Tyrconnell's 43. A little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of toffee. Very sweet smell. Very sweet smell. Not so much of a sweet finish. Very woody. Almost like you'd pick up with a bourbon that's been aged for, 10, 12 years. Yeah, that's oak on the end. I mean, that's leather on the end. Yeah, that is some oakiness on the end there. Not in an unpleasant way at all. It has that, just has a marvelous finish. Completely different than the Writer's Tears, completely different than the green spot. Or I would think maybe Powers might be the closest to it. But that is really rich. The mouth, it's very thick on the tongue, very oily tasting, oily feeling. It just lingers. It's like it wraps itself around the tongue. That's enjoyable. Man, I would have to say that's almost, that almost has the similar. It's like if you were to take and make an infinity bottle with bourbon and scotch, like a Highland or maybe even a Speyside in there, where the you get that really rich taste from the scotch, and then that the oiliness, the oakiness that you get from, a bourbon that's been in a first run barrel, just a beautiful feel at the end. But the smell up front, and I don't know if this is a pot still or. It doesn't say. And it is matured in ex-bourbon casks, so that's fair. But it doesn't say it's a pot still, so maybe it's a column still. I don't know. But yeah, you can smell the apples, you can smell the honey, citrus. Oh boy, this is the one that just keeps on giving. Tyrconnell. Now, again, this is one that I've had for a while. I picked this one up at Smith's here in I think, yeah, I picked this one up. It was either Smith's or Timmins that I picked this one up at. Picked it up quite a while ago, as a matter of fact, and another one that I had not tried yet. Absolutely, wow. That it's not the same as Green Spot. The closest one that I can compare it to is going to be the Powers. Now, that just might be drawing association because it is a higher alcohol content, because that might be the main reason why. They both have similar notes, citrus, honey. That is absolutely outstanding. In a very different way than Green Spot is. Absolutely outstanding. It's not trying to be anything. I don't think it's trying to be anything that it isn't. I think that it is the product that they wanted, a unique product. And let me tell you, that's one of the most unique things I've tried since the first time I tried a Macallan. The first time I tried a Scotch aged in sherry casks. Yeah. Wow. That is rich, very rich. The smells are very similar to what you taste, to be completely candid. You taste the apples, you taste it has that oily feel, that buttery feel in the mouth. It has slight notes of citrus, honey. Just, it's complex. It's the Green Spot and the Tyrconnell. The Powers, probably the most complex ones I've tried so far. So excellent. No, I'm very happy with that. So Redbreast 12. Now, Redbreast 12, that is another Middleton distillery. It's the same folks that bring you your Jamesons, your Green Spot, your your Powers, your things along that nature. The Redbreast it's kind of like for Irish whiskey fans, Redbreast is to Irish whiskey fans as Ardbeg is to the cult of Ardbeg, right? Or as it is to Islay Scotches. It's they are very passionate about this. This is the 12-year version. This is not the cask strength. Although I did have the opportunity. I chose this one. This I picked up at Boyd's. Like I said earlier, they had the 12-year and the 12-year cask strength. They also have a 15-year, and I think it goes up to the 20-year mark. It might even be older. They might even have longer aged ones than that. Redbreast is again a single pot still. This is a 12-year aged product. So much like the Yellow Spot that we tried a couple weeks ago, this is very similar in age. The thing that they do with this, much like the Yellow Spot, is this is aged not only in American oak, but it's also aged in wine casks. I think it's specifically sherry wine casks. So let's take a look at this one. Yeah, you can definitely smell the sherry cask on that. So much like the yellow spot, you know, that's what I should have brought. I should have brought out a bottle of yellow spot to compare these two. Yeah, you can definitely tell the sherry, the dried fruits, stone fruit, cherry, maybe apricot. Mm. Okay. Okay. Um, so I think had I brought down the bottle of yellow spot, I think I would have once again been a little bit disappointed in the yellow spot. Mm, that is absolutely delicious. I tried saying divine and delicious at the same time. Delicious. Mm, mm. Cherry oak. You can taste the sherry. Um, you can definitely taste a little bit of the oak on there as well. You can, like I said, you can taste the sherry casks. This is, oh my goodness, this is a 40%. Like I said, I did not get the cask strength. That is something I may pick up in the future if it's still available. Um, Baking spices, heavy on the baking spices. I really enjoy that. The like a cake, like a really rich cake. The butter, it almost has that cream feel. Heavy on the oils at the end. It's like it just coats your entire tongue, and it is absolutely fantastic. Wow. Yeah, that is something else. Let me tell you. Yeah, that is absolutely fantastic. The cake taste, the baking spices, your cloves, a little bit of cinnamon, um, has that thick feel. The nose is cherry, it's oak. You get a leathery taste. Um, Absolutely fantastic. Wow. Yeah, that is good. So if we're talking, you know, between yellow spot and redbreast, there is no comparison. There's no comparison. Um, that redbreast 12 is everything that the hype, everything that the hype builds it up as. It is it is so rich from start to finish. It it suckers you in to that really, you know, that slow, that it slowly brings you in, and then it just lets you know that it's a very good, um very well made whiskey. I think that's kind of a I think that's kind of a common theme if we talk about the pot still Irish whiskeys. Is there is just something unique about those. And I've had pot still bourbons. I've had scotches that have been produced in pot stills. I've had whiskeys that have been other whiskeys, non-Scotch, non-Irish, that have been produced in pot stills. And, or even like the hybrid pot still, where you've got a pot still that goes into a column still, into a column, whatever that's called. It is the Irish pot stills. It's just, they just want to let you know, the flavor profile, the taste, the smell, everything from start to finish. It wants you to know that it is a single pot still Irish whiskey. And that's something that I haven't noticed in whether it's a Scotch that's made in a pot still, whether it's a bourbon or a wheated whiskey or a rye whiskey that's a pot still. They don't have a uniquely identifying flavor to them like you get with the Irish whiskeys here. I would absolutely say that the single pot stills, Green Spot, the Redbreast, absolutely fantastic. One thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of water to that Writer's Tears, just a couple drops. And I'm going to see if that'll open up anything different. I know we talked about this a couple weeks ago. I don't usually use water in my whiskeys. I tend to want to try them on their own merit. But sometimes you've really got to try to open up a flavor or see if there's anything else, especially when the finish on something seems to be kind of lackluster, like with the I wouldn't say lackluster, where it seems to be leaving you wanting more, leaving you wanting for something different, like the Writer's Tears did. And that's what I want to try on that. It kind of toned down the apple smell, a little bit more cinnamon. Interestingly enough, it gets a little bit more boozy smelling, which, as I said before, that's not something that I really noticed on this. It doesn't have that boozy smell. Oh, now there you go. There you go. Just a couple drops. I think I put in maybe the equivalent of 3 drops into an ounce of whiskey there. And I would have to say that I think that brought it more in line with the Green Spot. I really do. I think that brought it more in line with the Green Spot. Much better finish. A little bit stronger up front. Now, to be completely fair, when you add the water sinks, it pushes the oils up in the drink. And so when you take that first drink after you add waters to the whiskey, you're really getting everything in one shot. That's going to be probably the strongest that you taste immediately. It proofs the rest of the drink down. Obviously, it goes from a 40% to maybe a 37, 38% proof. And they're again back down to where it was. So I think I got all of the greatness out of it with that first drink after adding the water. Not bad though. Again, if we're looking at the lineup here tonight, I'm very impressed with it. From the Caskmates, the Stout edition of Jameson, all the way to the Redbreast 12, of everything that we tried tonight. I would say, I really the Redbreast 12 for a new sample. Obviously, the Green Spot, I've already talked at length about how much I enjoy the Green Spot, how I find it to be just everything that I look for in a whiskey. The Redbreast 12, right there, absolutely fantastic drink. The Tyrconnell, again, like I said, and you know, not to kind of beat on a dead horse. The Tyrconnell, seriously, I honestly believe that if you blended a very smooth, very nice bourbon with a Highland Scotch, that's what you get. If both of them were made in a pot still, you know, or however they did it, right? Because that was the one that doesn't. I didn't see that it was pot stilled. Yeah, that Green Spot. That's the standard. I think that I'm going to be stuck with, since that's the one of the first Irish whiskeys I've drank at length and really enjoyed. It's what opened up Irish whiskeys for me. And again, the Jameson, the Black Barrel, absolutely fantastic. I know I said it earlier that I'm definitely not a purist with my Irish whiskeys, because primarily I'd been using Irish whiskeys as mixers, because, you know, the common thought, or the general thought on that is, I think for those of us that have worked in bars, those of us that have worked behind a bar, we can tell you that when most people are looking for something cheap to make a mixed whiskey drink out of, a bartender's typically going to grab a Jameson. I know I did. And that Jameson, the Jameson to me was always a mixer, and I kind of relegated all Irish whiskeys as mixers. And since I've gone on this kind of discovery mission of different Irish whiskeys, and again, this is not all the Irish that I have. This is just the Irish that I wanted to sample tonight, including several that I hadn't had in the past. This has really changed it from, you know, a mixing kind of a liquor to this. I would put up against, you know, the 12-year Redbreast, the Green Spot, the Tyrconnell, even the Writer's Tears, definitely the Powers. I would put those up against any 12-year Scotch that I've had. I would put those up against any 6, 7, 8-year-old bourbon that I've had. Now, they're going to stand on their own merits, because they're all going to be different, right? The bourbon's going to be different. The bourbon's going to be more of an oaky flavor. The bourbon's going to have more of those wood oils and tannins in them, simply because all bourbon in the United States is using first run charred American oak, where the Scots and the Irish have a much different style, because they can age theirs in whatever type of wood they want, right? Or whatever type of barrel they want. Whether they can use first run or second run barrels, they can use second run wine casks. They can do whatever they want with that, because that's how the rules work in their country. So all of them are going to be unique. But if you're talking something to drink and sip on neat on a regular basis, absolutely. Any one of these. So I mean, scale of 1 to 10, stout, probably 6.5, 7. Black Barrel, 7, 7.5. Powers, 7.5, 8. Writer's Tears, I think I already said right around 87%. So 8.5 to, I would say I would probably give this an 8.5. Tyrconnell, to me, definitely a 9, hands down a 9. Green Spot got the extra credit, so it's definitely sitting above 100%. So 10.5 out of 10, hands down. I absolutely love this. This is, as of now, this has become one of my go-tos when I'm looking to drink something. And Redbreast 12, that's going to be a 9.5 at least. These are some fantastic drinks that we tried tonight, and very pleased with all of it. So yeah, if you get the opportunity, if you have any of this, definitely try it, keep it. If you don't have it, hey, you can find this stuff is for the most part readily available anywhere that you go. I have seen this at Boyd's, Timmins. I've seen it at Mr. Liquor. I've seen it at Canyon Lake. I've seen it at Smith's. I've even seen a couple of these at, when you go to the Safeway or, Family Fare and other places like that. So BJ's, obviously, because I did pick this up at BJ's. So you can get these readily. These are fairly readily available anywhere you look. You don't have to look hard. You don't have to go far. That's the beautiful thing about most Irish whiskeys is they are readily available. I've really become a fan over the last couple months with Irish whiskeys, and hopefully you give them a chance, and you might become a fan of them too. So yeah, definitely. Hey, I appreciate you guys. I know that this one ran long. I think we're pretty close to an hour, just over an hour. I don't know. But I appreciate for those of you that stopped in for a little bit on the live stream. I know there were a number of people that stopped in and jumped out. For those of you watching it on replay and stick around till the end, hey, thank you. I appreciate it as well. If you like the video, let us know, like it, comment, let us know what we can do better. I know that there are definitely things that we've worked on from the beginning that we're continuing to work on that we're going to continue working on going forward. I think that this journey that we started back in October, November of last year, putting this together, and the changes that we've made with the whole lockdown situation and no one being able to go out and do things with friends, family gatherings, stuff like that. I know that that's really what drove us to start doing these videos, and it's kind of kept us busy, kind of kept us sane. And hopefully you find that enjoyment as well. So like I said, if you like the video, go to our page, like the page, join the group, join the conversation. We're trying to expand as quickly as we can. I know we just hit 200 subscribers or 200 followers on the Facebook page today, with just under 120 members on the Facebook group. So that's Facebook at West River Whiskey, and from there you just hit go to our group and take a look at that. So again, I appreciate you sticking with us and watching this through to the end. And until next time, enjoy and keep us posted. Let us know what you like. Feel free to put those in the comments, put it on the page, anything you like. Till next time, thanks a lot, and we'll see you guys soon.